cloud administrator. Okay, associate cloud administrators. And what are the topic we are going to talk about in this? We talked about yesterday. They're majorly as per the Microsoft recommendation. The topic which is been defined by the Microsoft, those we would be covering as per the exam preparation point of view, interview preparation point of view, right? This topic, the exam. And the prerequisite is of this cloud administrator we would need for, as discussed yesterday, we need to have that account, free account, right?
Yeah.
To create a free account, we would need for the credit card, Gmail or Microsoft account, right? That's it. We would be getting for, this is the URL, first Azure free subscription. So how much early you would be getting ready with this account, you would be able to do all the practice. Okay. So get it done with this, create your Azure account,
Sure.
and you would be able to start working on that same platform, because all the labs and everything would be going to the portal only. Okay. This is free account. And what are the benefit we would be getting once you get the free subscription? As discussed yesterday, we discussed yesterday infrastructure of Azure background data center, right? How that global Azure infrastructure or Azure data center created across worldwide.
Yeah.
And ultimately, the cloud means what? Microsoft has given a centralized portal, that portal called as a portal.azure.com, right? HTTPS portal.azure.com. And in this portal, we need to manage for whatever the services we would be needed. Okay. So that's the most important. We should know that. So as per this certification part, we would be creating these services, right? There we have the many services are there. We would be able to manage for all this. Become a cloud administrator. You need to know this, because already everything is there. We are not going to do any newly enhanced and some innovative, right? It is Azure. Microsoft has created all the data center. They have deployed, they have made ready everything to use it. And to become a cloud administrator, Microsoft has given the portal, and these are the services already there. We should know how to use it. That's what we are going to learn here. So how do you create a Azure storage account? How do you create a Azure networking? How do you create for how do you manage it for the Azure networking? What are the things are there? How do you, because everything is in place. We need to know where to go, how to create it, where to do. All the information we are going to learn in this course, right? So first, most important, you need to get ready with this account. Okay. And you would be able to manage for your Azure infrastructure, right? This is all basic things you would get it for 30 days free account. And what is that is in global infrastructure, right? Which is Azure global infrastructure. Now see this Yesterday we discussed this point, right?
Yes.
Right. Just for to knowledge purpose, across worldwide, Microsoft has already created their infrastructure. We need to know that how it is designed, and we are practically going to do this. Okay. All right. So first service we are going to talk about. This is my portal, and I have already created my account. I'm using for the pay as you go. Okay. If I go to this portal.azure.com, just please concentrate, because you need to understand that thoroughly and practically, and you need to do some practical the based on what we are covering up. So the more practical you are going to do, then you would be getting more confident, and whatever you have planned to do this, and you would be able to achieve it. And I would recommend after the class, please practice it and delete the resource when you are not using. I'll tell you all the process how to follow it, right?
Okay.
Carefully you need to handle it, even though when you're working pay as you go. Okay.
Sure.
So it is asking for the security. All right, let's begin with this, and the code should get it here. Four nine five eight seven four. Okay, so my subscription account is, you see this, any resource we would be going to create it. My subscription is, you need to see this dashboard. Okay, so once you logged in, you need to click on this 3 line. You see this, all the services, all the services. You would be able to see this list of which we discussed yesterday, correct? Microsoft has created all the IT infrastructure services in a portal, and they were telling that is, you tell us what you needed. Every services are available now, right?
Okay.
Every services are available now, so you just take it what you needed. And nowadays they are keep on enhanced the new feature, because we got to know that all the AI integrated, automation integrated, correct? So many features are implementing. You just observe here, there are count, right? You see that every categories there has a count.
Yeah,
You see
21.
AI plus machine learning 20, and today you see the 20.
Hmm.
Tomorrow they will be getting enhanced feature implemented, and they'll keep on adding, right?
Okay.
So just to understand that every services are there, so we need to look into that which service we would be going to. There are multiple people's, multiple technology support team. We are cloud administrator. We need to look into that storage part. We need to look into that Azure networking, VNet part, virtual machine, Azure Entra ID, which is Azure Active Directory. We need to look into that. Same things, other technology people are working on a DevOps, right? They will be looking for the container analytics, right? And and an automation team would be working on AI plus machine learning. These are all would be there, correct? So we don't need to learn all the services, is not required. And whichever technology we are supporting, we would be learning for. But everything is bringing into centralized place called cloud, correct? So across location, across globe, what kind of technology you wanted, it is everything is in cloud, which is automated. Now only two things is currently market. Earlier, we were any issues occur, we are taking longer time and we are spending huge money. We are investing huge money. Nowadays, there is less investment and things should be faster and things should be smarter. And every company would be demanding how optimizing the things work and how to help reduce the cost. This is the only things to keeping in mind. The complete IT infrastructure is built in the cloud. Agreed?
Yes.
So this is what we are going to learn it. Nowadays, there is no days to coming here. Okay, there is issues occur. Let me check later. And we need to do some manual things. We need to do some repeated things. No, those days are gone. So we need to think about how smartly we need to do, right? Because that is the actual goal for this cloud, guys. It is just not only you know doing for the things, but we need to make little smarter. And basically now the current market, you can also need to, there's not enough to complete this Azure. You should also plan for the upskilling yourself. It is completely IT infrastructure standing on security, okay, which is called cyber security, right?
Yeah, need. Yeah.
And cloud plus automation. That's all, guys. This is what it is standing on. That you go anywhere, this is what keep asking. You need to have the fundamental basic knowledge of the cloud. Okay, cloud should have a knowledge and it should be become expertise. So your journey started today to how the cloud is there, how the portal is there, Azure is there, everything. And we need to plan accordingly. Okay,
Yes, need.
Yeah, okay.
this is the basic things. Getting right. Now first most important, the service we are going to talk about in Azure. We will talk about this one, implement and manage virtual networking. First, we need to build the infrastructure. Then we'll talk about the one by one other services. So this implement and manage Azure or manage virtual networking, we would need the basic knowledge on networking. We would need the basic skill on networking. So what is basically networking? And also we would need for the IP addresses. You guys know that is in, you guys know that is in how the IP addresses. How the IP addresses work? What are the classes of IP address?
Yeah, in the first class, you told about these things. Class A, Class B, Class C.
Correct. Did you guys there? Last class, what you discussed, class A? Or I think I need to repeat that.
Yeah, because these are the second class. Yesterday we
So
have discussed.
you were
Yeah.
there that last class. Is a IP address which I've taken. Both of you there?
No, I am not there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Then let me talk about.
Yeah.
So you guys heard about the classes of IP address, how it works, and how you assign this.
I have a basic idea. Not
No,
proper, like,
say for
yeah.
example, when you have a laptop,
Yeah.
so when you want to assign this, assign the IP addresses, how do you assign the IP address?
No, I'm not sure about that.
Now go to the ncpa.cpl and network again. Now when you go to the ncpa.cpl here, ncpa.cpl, you would be going to this network icon. Okay, properties, TCP IP properties. Here you're going to write. Just 1 minute, guys. Only 1 minute. Only 1 second. Just a minute. Someone is pinging. Yes, only 1 minute. Please hold on. Now, when you are assigning the IP address, this TCP IP properties, have you observed here? When I configuring the IP address, static IP address, use the IP address, this is IP address and subnet mask, correct? Before we talk about the actual Azure networking, let's understand that is in very basic level of IP address, how it is defined, that is in an IP address. Because when we wanted to create a VNet, we must understand that is in how that is in IP addresses it is been added and it has been updated. Okay, so the first classes of IP address, if you say the first classes of IP address, okay, classes of IP address, first one is class A. It start with 0 to 126. Okay, it means what? And basically, before you talk about, it is a IP version 4. When we talk about, it is 32-bit IP address. Okay, and each this 32-bit IP address divided into 4 octet. Okay, each octet we have how many bits?
8 bits.
8 bits, right? So this is mainly important. You should be going to update like this: 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Correct? It's a 32-bit. Now it is designed for the class A IP address. It would be from start with 0 to 126. So I would be writing like this: 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to 126 dot 255 dot 255 dot 255. Okay. When you type a last 126 of IP address, when you wanted to type 126.0.1.1, whatever IP address you want to type, what would be the default subnet mask? For class A, default subnet mask would be 255.255.0.0.0. It's a default. Say for example here, if I wanted to assign the IP address class A 126.1.1.1.1, the moment you click on subnet mask, it would give you 255.255.0.0.0. Getting? It's a default subnet mask. It's a default subnet mask. If you type 127, 127, it is not a valid IP address. 127.0.0.1 IP address, it is reserved for loopback IP address. So what do you mean by loopback IP address? It is reserved for the testing our network interface card. So something your network issues and your network interface hardware network interface itself is issues. I need to identify if it is the hardware itself is the issue, then we cannot bring that machine network. So hence we need to try to ping it should get replied 127.0.0.1. It should get replied. So when it is replying means your my network interface is working fine. So that's what it is reserved for the 127 IP address. This IP address starting with 127 are not valid because they are reserved for the loopback IP address, right? The moment if I type 128.1.1.1 example, you see the default subnet mask gets changed, correct?
Yeah.
Now, when we're talking about the default subnet mask, why we need to have the default subnet mask? To identify in class A, how many networks we are using and how many host or IP address using. So in class A, network indicate for 1, indicate 1, host or IP address indicate 0. So now tell me, in this class A, what is the default subnet mask? 255.0.0. If I wanted to write in a binary number, how do I write it?
In a binary format, you mean this subnet mask?
Correct. I have written the 255.0.0. I wanted to write in binary number. How do I write it?
Okay, now what we did, 255 divided by what we do LCM and
remember, we need to write in binary number. You should make it for this calculation. Okay, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, and 128. So now, if I wanted to make 255, how many 1 should be written here? So 120, 128, 1 plus 64 plus 32 plus 16 plus 8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1. What would be the value? So 128 plus 128 plus 64, 128 plus 64. What is the value? 192, correct? And 192 plus 32, value is 224. 224 plus 16 equal to 240. 240 plus 8, 248. 248 plus 4, 252. And 252 plus 2 equal to 254. And 254 plus 1 equal to 255. Is this correct calculation?
Yes, totally.
So if I wanted to write in binary number for 255.0.0.0, how do I write it?
All ones should be there. What we did, 2 to the power 8, something kind of we did.
No, just write it in binary. That's we can talk about. Write it for the 255.0.0. How do I write it binary number?
We count the number of ones.
Sorry?
We count the number of ones we took in.
Yes, but how do I write it in binary number? How do you write it?
For the 255, this thing should be only 1111, and then the next octet should be 0000.
How do you write it? It should be 1,
0.
2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Correct?
8. Yes. This would
now how many ones are there? How many zeros are there?
Ones are 8. And
right. Zeros are?
Zeros are
24.
24.
So network, keep in mind, just concentrate, network. We have 2 to the power of 8. You need to calculate like this. The value is coming here to 56. It means class A, we would be using 256 network. Host or IP address indicate for a 0. Network means what? Ones, right? Ones. Host or IP address indicate means what? Zeros.
0.
So how many zeros are there in a class A?
24.
24. So 2 to the power of 24. 24. And the value would be 2 to
the power 24.
2 to the power of 24. You would be getting crore together. 1 crore 67 lakh 77,216. Right?
Yes.
So now this is a class A concept, right? So what would be the class B? Can I write here /8?
Yes.
What do you mean by /8 indicate here? /8 indicates it's a ones, so in ones network, right? Networks. So I can write it class A. And what would be the class B range of IP address? It starts with 128 to 191. Correct?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now what would be the default subnet mask of
class B
class?
255.
Correct. So 255.255.2, 0.0. Now same things in this class B, how many networks and how many hosts?
16 networks, 16 hosts.
One second. Okay. In class B, how many networks we are using? So network indicate 1. How many host and IP address using? In a class B indicate 0. In a class B. So what is the default subnet mask? 255.255.0.0. And how many networks they are using? So how do we write it basically? How do you write it?
2 sets of octane and 2
Right.
sets of
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and
0.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So how many ones are there?
16.
16. How many zeros are there?
16.
So now in class B, if we calculate class B once 2 to the power of 16 and 2 to the power of 16 both, correct?
Yes.
So what is the value of this 65,536? 65,536 and 65,536, 2 to the power of 16. Okay, 2 to the power of 16. So 536, correct? So now same things. If I talk about the class C, what would be the IP address range? And how many networks and how many hosts we are using? Class C, the class C start with 191 to 192 to 223, right? 223. And what would be the subnet mask? Subnet mask would be 255.255.255.0. And class C, how many networks we are using? Indicate 0. How many hosts we are using? Indicate 0. So how many write it here? I should be writing here 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And how many ones are there? 2 to the power of 24 and 2 to the power of 8. It's exactly opposite of class A. This is the value of if coming here networks, sorry, host. This is networks and this is the host 256. Correct?
Zeros are the host, right? Zeros
Correct.
are the host.
Zeros are host, correct, right? So it's opposite of the class A. So now understood here why we need this network and IP addresses needed, and why you need to have a calculation here, because now in a network concept, in an organization point of view, they will tell you I have around 200 or 300 users, and please plan for network infrastructure.
Hello.
So you should have to have that is in, you have a 300 user, you can keep plus or minus around 200 extra. So you can keep the 500 IP addresses, right?
Okay.
So you do not need the 1,000 of IP address, right? It is a losses of IP address. Yes or no?
Correct.
Now, since they will tell you, please use this, okay, how they are calculating. Now, before we talk about, if I tell you, now we are since understood that /8 means what? 255.0.0.0. /16 means what?
Class B.
Class B. /24 means what?
Class C.
Class C. So now if I give you this indicate, before we talk about, if I give you this indicate, I'm just giving you /16 or sorry, not 16, /19 IP address. I mean /19. Please find the default subnet mask. How do you find it?
Class 19.
So this is I give you only /19. So
I'm
what
not-
would be the default subnet mask?
$60 networks.
So already you know that is in nearest, which nearest this slash number?
This is nearest to class B.
Class B. So what is the class B here already there?
Yeah, 255.255.0.0.
So 255.255.0.0. So what is this /16, correct?
Mm.
Now to become a 19, how many ones should be added?
3 ones.
3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many ones would be added? 3 more.
3.
Correct?
Yes.
And remains are zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, what would be the value of this? 255.255. What is the value of this? 3 ones. What is the 3 ones indication here? The calculation here?
128 plus 64
Plus
plus
32.
Yes.
So the value is
240.
224.
224.
Correct?
Yes.
So this is my subnet mask of //19.
Okay.
You getting my
This
point?
is subnet mask. Okay. Got it.
Now you would need, you can aramsey calculate it, how many networks and how many hosts you are getting in this. You know the 2 to the power of again how many? 19. 2 to the power of 8 plus 5, 13. You know that is how many networks and how many hosts you are getting, correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Now, if I give you that is in /23, what would be the find the default subnet mask of this?
This will be of class C, and because it's nearby.
Nearby class 3, correct? But it is a 23. Now, so what is that class C? 255.255.255.0.
0.
This is 24, but it is not actually we are needed. We need it for 23.
23.
So how
One
many
less.
one should be less?
Hmm.
Well, how many one should be less?
One less.
One less. So how do I write it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And now 7 ones.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 0. Dot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Correct? Now
Yes.
tell me how many networks and how many IP addresses you are getting here? And what is the subnet mask?
Yeah, this thing can be calculated.
What is the calculation here? 255 dot 255. What is the value of this?
Okay.
254.0 because last one it is not there.
One is there. Yes.
This is my subnet mask. I can say /23.
Correct.
Now you can use any of the IP address and how many networks you are getting here? How many IP addresses you are getting? 2 to the power of 9
23.
for
No,
host. For host.
For host IP addresses, yeah,
Right. If I say 2 to the power of 9, what would be the value? 512. That's fine. As I said here, if I wanted to have a 300 or 400 IP address, which subnet mask I should use, and it would be going to reach for my 512 IP address. And you can use for any of the IP address. You can use 10.0.0.0, and then your slash, you're giving the /23, then you can use it for how many iPads you are getting? 23, 512 iPads you are getting. You can any IP address range, 192.168. You can use any of the IP address, 192.168.0.0/23, right?
So these IP address can be distributed to VMs.
Correct,
Right?
correct,
And
correct,
and
correct.
the network part, I'm just a bit confused with
Net,
the
network
network
point
part.
can be created. See, now when you say 23, right? Now, how many IPs are you are getting? 512. Now you need to 2 to the power of, how many are coming? 2 to the power of 23. Correct? 23. Now
Yes.
you can have the calculation of this around 1 crore together, you will get it. Correct?
No, this 1 crore value, where this will be utilized. I mean, we will having network. We can create a
You can
network
make it
of
two. You see, ultimately the we do not want to multiple network. We need how many IP addresses you are using and how many networks you would need it. So networks are coming more. That's fine, but you can create it for how many IP addresses you need. Say for example, now Microsoft in Azure, what it says here, I would give you one address space. What is the address space example? This is my network. Okay, this is address. This is also address space. This is also VNet. Take example, this VNet. This is VNet. This is virtual networking creating, correct? And now they will say 10.0.0.0/16. So how many networks you are getting? 65,536, correct?
No.
Right. Now in this, you will be creating 65,000, but I need for the 2 subnet. And each subnet I would need 255 IP address. I would need only 2 network, and each network I would need for 254 IP address, 55 IP address. So I'm going to creating one subnet 1. I'm creating subnet 2. And the subnet value for, if I wanted to have a 254 IP address, what would be the number, the slash number? I can say subnet 1, the name of subnet 1. This one is the subnet 1 range I would give you. You would be getting to 65,536 network in this 0.1.0/24 subnet 1, and second subnet I would use subnet 2. Then I'm going to use this 10.0.2.0/24. Now what was the actual IP address would need it? 256 or 255. So how many IP addresses we are getting in this subnet? When I say /24, how many zeros, how many ones you are getting?
Ones are 24, zeros are 8.
Zeros are 8, correct?
Yes.
Now, what do you mean by indicate zeros?
These are IPs, 2 to the power 8.
Correct. 2 to the power of 8. How much IP address you are getting?
256.
256. Now, whatever machines you are getting here, whatever machines you are going to creating, the IP address is going to released here 10.10.0.1.4 and 10.0.1.5. But remember, in a Microsoft Azure, every subnetting first 5 IP addresses should be reserved.
Okay.
In Azure,
First IP address are reserved.
every subnet first 5 IP address is reserved.
Reserved. So we're getting 251.
Correct. IP address reserved. Getting? So
Yes.
what are those? Let's see this. I'll give you here the reserved IP address. Azure IP address reserved. Okay. Let me just give you this. Where it's gone, there it's gone. This IP address list. I have taken this. Yeah, here it is. You would be getting here Azure reserved for the first 4 IP address and last overall IP address each subnet. Okay. So this is you need to keep in mind and take it here. Network address. Copy this. Just to take a better way. It should be like this. You see this? Individually.
0, 1, 0, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. Copy this. Just to keep in mind, this might ask in interview. You should have that. Azure reserves 5 IP address within the each subnet. These are all this one. Okay. So first 0 IP is a network address reserved for the Azure for default gateway, and 2 and 3 for reserved for the Azure mapping, the Azure DNS and VNet space, and 255 for broadcast IP address. So every subnet, if you start with getting IP address here, start with 4, right?
Okay.
And 4, and this is going to start 5, and next IP address 6, 7 like this. And here in this subnet, if you build a 1 VM on this subnet, your machine IP address would get it 10.0.2.4. 10.0.
Including the 0, 1.
Sorry.
10.0.1.0, this will be also included in as a result.
Correct. 1.0 is in the result. This is, see this. In this our network, it should be 10.0.1.0. And here 10.0.1.1, right? And 10.0.1.2 and 10.0.1.3 in this subnet. 10.0.1.3 and 10.0.1.255. Every subnet. If you're using 192.168, if you're using 192.168 10.0, then in that network we should be using for this.
Okay. 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 So we will be having free from 10.0.1.4 to 254. Okay.
Getting?
Yes.
So any IP addresses range, you say subnet 2. What is the subnet 2 here? 10.0.2.0, right? And 10.0.2.1, 10.0.2.2, 10.0.2.2, and 10.0.2.3, and 10.0.2.255. Correct?
Okay, this is the subnet.
This is second subnet. Okay. This is second subnet, right? Subnet 2. And this is subnet 1 in our lab. Okay. Right? Subnet 1 here. In the subnet 1, first 5 IPs will be result. Subnet 2, first 5 IPs will be result. 10.0.2.0. Correct? This is the 10.0.2.0. So 10.0.2.0 is a network address. And 1.1 it is
reserved for
default gateway. And 2.3 and 2.3 and 2.4.
for
Sorry,
Azure.
2 and 3, it would be reserved for Azure DNS for the VNet space and broadcast. Every subnet, remember every subnet, it would be reserved. First 5 IP addresses. Getting this point?
Yes,
So
sir.
let's build tomorrow discussing on practical how to create a VNet and how to create a subnet, and whatever we talked about today, it would be
Okay.
clear.